truly one of the great athletes that Coach Marquess has on this ball club. Steve, he was telling us yesterday that he felt like AJ Hinch could play any position on the field and play it well. To center, sinking fast, base hit. So AJ Hinch gives the Cardinals some hope.
After your third year at Stanford, you get drafted by the Minnesota Twins in the third round. You decide to go back to Stanford for your senior season. Why?
Two reasons. One, I was really close to graduating. And it was important for me that if I had an opportunity to graduate, I wanted to do it. But the other reason was the Olympics were in 1996. So, there's always the disappointment of not going higher than you want to go. But combined, like, chance to get my degree, and I get to be the captain of the U.S. Olympic team in '96 in Atlanta. That outweighed what I felt like was an area in the draft that I could probably replicate the next year.
So after that, next thing you know, we're teammates in Sacramento, in Oakland.
Right.
And then you get traded.
Right. Well, so that was like on the rise of your career, and that was on the maybe start of the decline of my career. But being teammates with you, you were a monster. You had power, you had speed, you had energy. You were on your way to what turned into a really good career. And me coming back to Sacramento, I'd already been in the big leagues for a couple of years. And one thing I've never told you is you actually instilled a little more life in me, who felt like I was taking a step back. I'd already been in the big leagues, so I'd accomplished what I wanted. I wanted to get to the big leagues. That's what we wanted as players. Then when I come back to AAA, it's really easy to get into the doldrums of depression, and you're frustrated and you're mad and you hate baseball. And then here's this energy dude that will not stop hitting bombs, will not stop stealing bases, will not stop providing energy every day. And I wasn't that much older than you, but I'd already gone to the big leagues and come back, and that was huge for me to fall back in love with baseball.
So career goes on, and I feel like I blinked, and it was 2006.
Right.
And I had been traded to Colorado. I then got traded to Baltimore. I then got released and was out of a job and had offers from a few different teams, with the top one being from the Cleveland Indians. And I'm hours away from signing this deal. And this is incredible, but I got a call from you, and it changed my life.
Said, come be a D-back. Yeah, I wanted you to be a D-back. I remember, vividly that conversation I was back recruiting you again. I was wanting you to come be a D-back. I had this relationship. You were the perfect fit for us. You needed a job. You needed to reestablish yourself as a player in the big leagues. And it got all the way to Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And on Christmas Eve, we weren't sure what you were going to do, and were you going to sign, were you not going to sign. And I remember stepping out of church. I'm with my wife, my kids, and my in-laws. And to this day, my wife will still tell you she's the most mad she's ever been to me was on Christmas Eve when I stepped out of church to take your call to tell me that, hey, I want to be a D-back. So yeah, you even got into a few of my holidays.
Let's go to 2009, because never forget hearing that Bob Melvin had been fired. I think the next thing was a phone call from you.
Right.
Telling me you're my new manager.
Right. Yeah, no, that was so you talk about the decision to become a D-back for you changed your life. The decision to be a manager changed my life. And what I didn't know at the time is I was walking into an inferno. And so when they asked me to be the manager, I was nervous because I've been on teams where the manager gets fired and it doesn't work. Like, it's not an automatic fix. There's so much that goes into building a culture and a chemistry and a team. You're not going to fix it with one managerial change. I needed the players to understand that I was one of them. I knew that was going to be an inferno when you let go of a popular manager, you instill someone with no experience. I better have my tentacles in the clubhouse with the dudes that I knew would have my back.
I remember one of the things you told me. You said, ultimately, how was I supposed to say no to this?
Well, there's 30 of these jobs. Yeah. 30. And so when someone trusts you and wants you to be the leader of a team at the major league level, the level that all of us dream since we were little kids, what do you want to be at? You want to be at the big league level. And so for me, when I took a step back and I talked to my family about, do I want to jump back in a uniform and go back on the field? It was an emphatic yes. Now, I didn't love the situation. I didn't love replacing Bomel and the craziness that ensued for the next year and a half, but what an opportunity. And then looking back now, if I don't get that opportunity, then I don't get this opportunity to be with the Astros.
You get fired from Arizona. It all happens quick, right? And now all of a sudden, you're out of a job, and within 10 weeks, back on your feet, back in scouting.
Yeah. No, I went back to the office. The one thing that I said when I got fired, they're going to let me go. I understood why. I understood the situation. I didn't like it. And I said, all I really want is to reestablish my baseball integrity. That's all that mattered to me. For me to get that back, I needed to go get myself grounded again. It's something that I was very comfortable with. That happened to be in San Diego running the scouting department. But that desire to manage, that desire to compete, the desire to lead men never left me.
We then run into each other a few years after that, and we're in Florida. And this time I'm working for MLB Network, and I show up, and you are the manager of the Houston Astros. And I'll never forget sort of the first thing you said to me right away is, it's different this time.
I did tell you it was different because I was different.
Yeah.
I had taken the experience, I'd internalized it. I'm a guy who tries to be perfect. I want to do everything right. I got hired into a job because somebody believed in me. I got let go because of the situation and people thought it wasn't the right thing. I needed to get myself back together and get myself back to being a leader again to get this job in Houston. And I had interviewed for a couple manager jobs prior to that, and I could not wait to instill a culture and to be myself and to take the lessons learned in the various jobs and get another opportunity.
How did playing for Marquess affect you as the manager you are today?
Whew, that's a good one. I'm obsessive over the details of my everyday, mostly because of Nine. He was always ultra organized, always prepared. The smallest of details would be the biggest deal. We'd have team meetings over like small little things like a lead at first base or if a guy swung out of the strike zone at the wrong time. He was just so obsessed with the details. I probably have more attributes of Nine that I admitted that I would have had when I played for him. The competitiveness, the edge during the game. I'm pretty calm for the most part, but there's an inner edge that I have that I think comes from him. And I celebrate winning the way he loved to win. And when we would win, it would be the highest of highs. When we lose, it would be pretty low. I've tried to take the winning side from him and really enjoy the good parts of the game, which can be the win.
Coming up.
My journey's not complete. I want there to be more story behind it. But that moment is probably the single moment I cherish the most in my baseball career.